Happy Monday. Welcome to NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these picks. Download the Sports Interaction app. A couple of sad men today, Mr. Bastel. The Leafs lose. The Jets lose.
Not good, eh?
At least my team's not down in the series. Bud, how was your weekend?
No. You know what? Pretty good. Mother's Day was excellent. We did the Saturday, Sunday thing, and then a lot of hockey watching throughout. You know what? I don't like.
Can I stop you there? Can we go back to the Saturday and Sunday thing for Mother's Day?
Yeah, fire away, man. Yes.
What, you've elongated Mother's Day to the entire weekend? That's how good of a human being you are?
A great human being, yes. You know what? My wife's sister lives out of town, and she was in town on Saturday, so it's like, let's do it Saturday, right? So and then yesterday was just breakfast and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. I mean, did you do anything like overly
just
like
a brunch tour? The Bastel's on a brunch tour on the weekend.
That's exactly So it was good. Awesome weather in southern Ontario, by the way.
Beautiful,
fantastic. So by the way,
31 degrees. I took the kids out of the house for the day.
Exactly. 31 degrees expected high in Winnipeg today. So this team better.
Why is Winnipeg so hot all of a sudden? That makes no sense.
Oh, but it better happen the next game as well.
All right. So. Happy to see everybody there in the chat. Good morning to you guys. Thanks for joining us here Monday morning. My Mother's Day, stole the kids through a complete game, modified, underhand. W. Yeah. If you've ever played men's modified, I was launching knuckleballs. My knuckleballs were so good that the other team had to complain about my modified form because the form in modified pitching is strict. Very
what do you
strict.
mean? What do you, like you had a certain angle on the release?
Oh, I was breaking my wrist on the way back.
Oh, you know what? You come across as a guy that breaks his wrist.
Yes.
When you're throwing. So I'm throwing the flag as well.
Yeah, and then I fixed everything, and then my mechanics are way better. So thanks to the Mud Hens for fixing that. Boys, the Geminis were rolling. And then we had two kind of not good games if you're Josh and Dave for hockey yesterday.
Terrible.
Winnipeg game, Dallas gets their first home game within that series, and Mikko Rantanen was scoring on the road, and you just assume when he goes home and they get last change, that it's going to be difficult to stop him. And now, dating back to 2023, Hellebuyck has conceded at least 4 goals in 8 consecutive road playoff outings, but it's been even worse this year, Dave. He's 0-4 on the road this year. He has a .665 goals against, a .772 save percentage, and he's allowed 21 goals on 91 shots.
Yeah.
The last time I talked to you, you were saying, I think it's changed now. Right? The Game 7 win, I think we're okay. Do you still have the same Connor Hellebuyck?
Yes, 100%. People are also forgetting short memories. That's cool. It's good to have if you're an NHL coach, not if you're a better. Well, maybe it is good to have if you're a better. Everybody forgets that Hellebuyck shutout in game number 2 in Winnipeg. Did he look pretty good? Start nodding your head. By the way, yesterday, couple deflections, an illegal goal that clearly should not have counted. So let's just count it up here. You know what I mean? Like it's really not. And you know what? The stupidity I'm hearing on national television about maybe they should go to Eric Comrie. Go screw yourself. You know clearly nothing about this team. I'll use an example for my old school CFLers out there. Don Matthews was a legendary CFL coach. Anthony Calvillo was arguably the greatest CFL quarterback in all time. He threw 5 interceptions in one game and wasn't pulled, and he was asked about it. He said, you know what? He's so good, I'm going to give him a chance to throw number 6. That's Connor Hellebuyck. He will start unless he's in a hospital bed. And even then, you're going to find a way of trying to get that bed to the arena and put him back in that. No question about it. I don't have any reservations about him as well at any level. At any level.
I just had a spider crawl on my book while you were doing your Anthony Calvecchio story there. I'm like, how long should I let him go before I swipe this thing down?
No way.
There you go. I live in the cobwebs down here in the garage.
That's it. That's it.
But no, there's no Eric Comrie talk. I mean,
No.
I was kind of excited in that sense when you said like 500-1 for Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
But that's in the first series when, like, if there's going to be a move and he wins, then he keeps going. Now he won the first series. He's got a shutout. It's his, like you said, that what was the NHL's response to that goal? It was like it was kicked in, but Connor Hellebuck hit it into his own net, so it doesn't count as a kick goal.
Pure stupidity. Pure stupidity. Here, let me read you something. Let me read you something here, because it's fact and it's completely off of the rule book. And shame on the NHL for not getting it right. Shame on the NHL for actually not relaying this to the message of the two officials, by the way, Chris Rooney and Graham Skeletor, who should not ref another game this NHL season. Don't lose your job, but you shouldn't ref your game. They do that in Major League Baseball. They should do the same thing in hockey. Here it is. A goal cannot be scored by an attacking player who kicks the puck that deflects into a net off a player, goalkeeper, or official.
That's it.
Clearly it was kicked. Clearly, it went off for Connor Hellebuck, who didn't propel it into his net, even though nice wording, by the way, the jet propel reference. Anyway, not a goal. Not a goal. Momentum change. And here you go, Dallas. Here's your runway into a third period meltdown, because that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And by the way, Mason Marchment, if there isn't a suspension today, I mean, this league is stupider than I think. You can't touch a referee. You cannot touch a referee. I don't care if it's like, he did this to me. If there's not a suspension, just zero respect for this league. Zero respect for this league.
We're at a very critical point within the player safety right now because of what happened in Toronto, what happened with Marchment.
Yep.
Very interesting afternoon for hockey to see where the line is, where Paros's line is as we get deeper into the playoffs.
Yep.
I put out a tweet today. Did Max Domi absolutely railroad Barkov from behind? Oh, yeah, 100%. Yep. Should Barkov be a smart enough hockey player to know that with the 2 seconds left in the game, you shouldn't be putting your head in front of the board with your back to the ice? Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. They're like, that's rule. Well, don't put yourself in those situations, because if the tables were turned and that was 34 in that spot, you'd almost guarantee that someone would be doing the exact same thing. No?
I'm kind of curious why Barkov was on the ice.
100%. It's 2. It's not a 1-goal lead. It's 2.
But, trust me, the Florida Panthers have a pretty solid third line that could probably take care of business at that time. Just saying.
Paul in the chat says Royal Rumble coming to Toronto for Game 5. Absolutely. And it's a lot of it has become from the player safety and where this series has gone in officiating and what hasn't been called, and the headshots and the cheap shots. And I'm saying this from both sides. Toronto has to play that game too, because the Panthers were playing it early, and now you're starting to see guys like Domi get penalties. But I mean, you can't take 4 penalties right out of the gates. I know some of them was like a delay of game, but I don't know. Evan Rodriguez is Oscar worthy. Absolutely Oscar worthy. You have to have a bad name in the officiating world if you get your face stapled to the glass and they call you for embellishment. Like, that just doesn't come out of nowhere. That's a known player doing that. And you saw it on the OEL hit. OEL hit him. Yeah, interference. They reviewed it. They only gave him 2 minutes, but he got hit in the face and got shot and laid on the ice like he was absolutely dead. He is the most different player than everybody else on that Florida team, because the other guys don't play that way. They might be greasy, but they're tough and greasy. There's a difference. Not just Evan Rodriguez falling all over the ice.
Let me ask you a question about Hal's comment about Royal Rumble. If you're the Maple Leafs, do you want to get yourself into that? Be careful. You want to get against the Florida Panthers? Does any NHL team want to get into that with the Florida Panthers? I mean, any NHL team.
No, it's very scary. And
oh yeah.
The longer that series goes, the more it favors Florida for being probably the tougher team. honestly.
And to
Because
and to answer Andy's question in the chat, which team would win a Royal Rumble? The Florida Panthers against anybody. Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vegas. The Florida Panthers. They'd
and
win a
you're
Royal
starting
Rumble.
to see it. And I know Andy's mentioned it online too. Game 1. I'm like, I don't know if Toronto's going to be able to play in front of the net. I don't know if they're going to be able to get in front of the net. Boom, right away, John Tavares goal in front of the net. They were in front of the net.
Yeah.
As the series goes on and they get beat up, those trips to the front of the net become less frequent. And now we're seeing Matthews not skate and more optional skates. I'm just getting tired, Dave, of looking at my group chat and seeing, oh, there's another Matthews McMuffin being thrown at the net because the guy can't beat anybody.
And by the way, JPC 4th, Monday therapy session. Absolutely. 100%. I don't know what I'd do without Josh. I'm just saying, I need this. And I think Josh is working on it as
Leafs
well.
lost. I would be gloating if we were up 3-1, but that's the way it is. Which team would? I need some parameters on the Royal Rumble. I mean, if you could just go, let's go top 6 and top 4. Yeah, is it Florida? Right? Sam Bennett's not a big guy. There, you could probably put together a bigger lineup than Florida puts out there.
Oh, sure you can, but what team is? What team is better than Florida at what they do? The St. Louis Blues are pretty pesky, but they're done. They're done. I mean, I don't know. Like I wish there was more Tom Wilsons on the Capitals, and I think Washington does as well, because they'd probably be in that conversation. But how much can you do with one, right? So
let's get there. As I lost my page, I have a professional conversation. I have a Google Doc of like all my writing stuff and like all my scripts for shows and stuff.
Yeah.
It is 83 pages long.
And by the way, folks in the chat and watching this later, he also has Google Docs on his betting, and it is very, very impressive. It is math. I know a lot of people in this industry. This guy right over here, this is like wow. I thought I was, and I was like, no.
I sent you my 10,000 track plays from 2023. Washington, Carolina, you mentioned it. Let's go. I still think these prices in the NHL playoffs, and I was on the Toronto money line at 165. They got outplayed, but they were going into the third period down just a goal. They just needed a greasy one to get back in it. They could have stolen that game because Wall played good. 165 was a hell of a correction from game 3. That was, I believe, 195 at one point. 195 in any NHL playoff game is an automatic buy. And I think you go to almost 165, 160 where you almost have to take it. And I still think Carolina is being wildly overvalued in this spot. You look at the expected metrics. It was a game. The first game in Carolina, game 3, was won by a person we've been crapping on all NHL playoffs in Freddie Anderson, who stood on his head because the expected metrics on both sides in that game were pretty even. 4-0 game, Freddie win. Ovi had the most expected goals for in that game, but they threw up the donut. Carolina's tough at home. Let's get to the plays. Dave's on the under 5.5, paying 20 points on it. Ovechkin over 3.5 shots, getting the 20 points back there. And then Ovi anytime goal at 175. And then I'm going Stanky for a point at plus 140. I'm still invested in the Washington series price, so I'm staying away from that 195 money line price, which I still think is something that you have to. If you're a person who makes bets solely based on price, I think 195 is a number that you absolutely have to entertain. No, you have no love. You got no love for Washington, or are you on the Freddie Anderson bandwagon now?
No, I'm not. See, I'm not on that. And we've talked about this. The capital bet is strong because of the goaltending. Like Fred Anderson is actually kind of surprising me, but you know what Carolina is doing? They're reducing the amount of shots on goal. I mean, play it defensively sound, shut down. You're sitting there averaging 20 shots against per game. Guess what? You're giving your goaltender an opportunity to win this thing. And I mean, for him to shut it down, Fred Anderson is going to Fred Anderson. So I'm not expecting this to to continue a shutout streak or anything of that nature. But anybody surprised if this is 2-2 going back? I'm not. I'm not really surprised if the Jets go back 2-2. I'm not surprised Florida, Toronto 2-2. I think Vegas will actually win as well and put this to, like, we're talking about some long second round series, in my opinion. And I think this is just one of them right here.
People jumping on the chat saying protest point playing on that top line. Anthony Beauvillier was never really the answer, I don't think, especially in the postseason. Excuse me. So I'm just trying to find that because he wasn't on my mark. Plus 140 is a great price on that top line. It's kind of like what we were trying to buy. Corey Perry. I mean, Corey Perry was 140 on PP1, looking back on some crazy points.
Yep.
I just like the stank point. I like that line. I know that line with Roslovic and Taylor Hall got the most time 5-on-5 in the last game. A lot of that might have had been to do with game script, but we could see the similar game script, in game 4 here. So I like the stanky point. One of the more skilled guys. I mean, talk about what Rantanen's doing. Stanky was a guy traded for him in terms of value and where they project him as a scorer, as a person who can produce offensively. I think it's a good number for a guy playing PP2, and the
Bingo.
PP1 and PP2 are slipping it up. I do like, if you want to put a Taylor Hall point with it, plus 350 correlate together.
Yeah.
Jarvis got moved up to line 1 last game from Andy Francis. They scored. Probably will keep that line together. Blake under points could be nice. Good point from Andy. The Seth Jarvis juggle continues with the Canes, and if they're trailing, Jarvis probably goes up, Blake goes down, but Blake's still on that power play 1, which scares me for the underpoint.
Yeah, no, that would as well. And yes, the Jarvis thing is, anywhere amongst the 12 for 18 plus minutes. I mean, that's the formula, right? It's like he probably like, I don't watch the Carolina Hurricanes a lot during the regular season, but he almost seems like a fixer where whoever needs some fixing, you put the handyman in place. And we're talking about a guy that was at the Four Nations. And I know there was some, should he be in there? I mean, what a very valuable, player that's really panned out well. First round draft pick, Winnipegger. And this guy can move throughout this lineup. And is he a top 6 forward? Yes. Can he play anywhere else? Absolutely. And he will play a lot, tons.
I think he's the most talented skater on that team, most talented offensive player on that team. But that team just likes to be balanced. And now when you get later in the series and you don't have to overload your front line, you're doing pretty good. Him and Aho are plus 1,500 for leading goal scorer, and the leading goal scorer in the series has 1 goal. Dead heat rules apply, I would assume. They get my Carter Verhaeghe goals.
For sure.
But no, this just looks like another slow scoring, low event game, no? I mean, that's why you're on the under, but we haven't seen a goal early in this series.
No, we haven't. We've sat through 20 minutes of action, and it's like, nope, goose eggs, moving to the second, keep on going. 3 unders, 3 games, paying a little bit of juice on it. But I mean, we've seen, an average of 3 to 4 goals tops. Like they haven't even touched 5 yet. Or have they touched 5?
No.
I'm trying to remember. No, they haven't touched 5 yet.
I don't believe so. But you also have 2 teams that can close out as well in terms of where we see the overs come from. It's teams coming from behind. Like your Edmontons, like your Vegas, like Florida, who can obviously come back because Toronto can't fucking protect a goddamn lead. That came out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're at multiple 2-goal leads. That's fine. We don't need those to go up 3-1 in the series. Oh, God. And on top of that, after we went to the game, we went out. We were at One Eye Jacks for that game to watch game 3. Oh, sorry. Yeah, game 3.
Yeah, game 3.
It took us an hour to get our bill. So not only did we have to sit through the overtime loss, we had to sit around and wait for a bill. I know.
How busy was this place?
It was probably the busiest it's ever been. Right?
Wow.
The city was wild. It was a beautiful weekend. Friday was awesome.
You guys didn't think about walking up to the front and saying, "Give me my bill," or you just were sitting at your table like this?
We did. We waited so long. We're like, can you give us a free shot or something? Like just
I am not leaving my seat until I get my bill.
Yeah, that's it. Something. I need something. All right, Vegas, Edmonton. Vegas
yeah.
plus 115. Over
Giddy
under
up.
sitting at 6.5, minus 135 to the over.
I
We're
want
gonna
to
get
go
another
over, but
7.
yeah. Yeah.
Not paying 35 points on any
No.
overtime game
No.
ever. You're on Carlson point plus 115. You're on the Bush assist for minus 118. Love that. It was on it before, and I'm still on the Corey Perry, even on like a 35, 40 point adjustment. It's even money, and he's hitting everyone. He's got the 2 points, and I think now with Stuart Skinner back in, they have to outscore their problems even more.
That's it.
And we haven't seen in this series the team that scores first has not won any game.
Nope.
2-goal leads mean nothing in this series. That last goal, how do you come back after that last goal? Like the deflection of Leon Draisaitl. I get where Stuart Skinner was trying to just keep pushing him out because there wasn't any seconds left on the clock. But that's a heartbreaker. What a bad Saturday night in Edmonton, no?
Oh, yeah. Well, they even talked about it after, saying that was probably worse than an overtime loss. And it's like, yeah. Because, I mean, 90% of the bench was probably going, okay, we're heading to the dressing room. Let's regroup. Get out there for the next period, right? The fourth. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, that was a gut punch right there. We'll see what kind of jump they have. And I'm not touching the over. Do I think they're going to be 6, 7, 8 goals? Yeah, absolutely. When you're seeing flat sevens, I think last game it did close at a flat 7 before puck drop, right? I'm almost certain it did. But wowzers. I'm on the Carlson point just because he's flying out there. 19 minutes, 2 goals, 2 assists, last 3 games. Get a point, plus 115. There's your plus value right there. The Bush train is 4 assists in the last 3 games, plus 6, which is crazy for him because as much as he's offensive and so forth with the bombs from the point, he's just as big of a liability in his own zone. But to see him go plus 6 in the last 3 games is something there. Minus 118, averaging 28 to 30 minutes, hit 35 minutes, by the way, in game number 2, which is crazy numbers. But this guy is, the horse is going to run, even though the horse does have some defensive problems. But I don't care about the defense. I care about the assist from the point. That's why we're on Evan Bouchard.
Oh, there's a man after my own heart. JPC4 says Washington, Carolina under 6.5, and then Vegas, Edmonton, both teams to score 2 at plus 110-ish. That's a good little. Let's try to get one bet for both games in. Been there. Yahtzee said plus 150 for first team, not the first team to score to lose. So it's not the easiest market to see. There's like it's worded differently in different markets. Like you can get like Edmonton to win from behind at plus I believe it's 265. Vegas to win from behind at 285. There are some ways to figure that out, and it's just going to be another wide open game, I feel, where I haven't seen good goaltending. Anything can happen on both lines. Is there a injury situation happening with Mark Stone? That's what I saw. I did see something off it, but
left the game, right? Left the game.
Yeah.
Let me just scan really quick while we're talking here as well. That kind of killed my ticket.
I saw that.
Yeah, because I had him anytime point, and there is nothing right now with Mark Stone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's the thing that sucks right now. You're not getting anything. It just says like day to day. Sure, you're not going to find out anything.
Hey, he's
day to day heading into game 4.
Who would have thought?
But you might get. Let's say he doesn't play. Some of the options in that spot are Carlson, right? I think it's Carlson, Barbashev, and Eichel would maybe be a line.
Barbashev's been very, very quiet as well. So
I know he's the one. He's like, oh yeah, he's top line. He'll do something. No, he doesn't.
No, exactly. But does
Carlson centers? I'm stupid.
Do you wake him up? Yeah. Barbashev was playing with Eichel and Stone, so Stone would be replacement by maybe Victor Olofsson. Maybe he moves up a unit on the right side. Riley Smith can move up and down the lineup as well. That's an option. Had a nice goal there the other night.
But it does suck to take Riley Smith off the Carlson line.
Correct.
Like that Howden Carlson Smith line's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes off somewhere on that Dorofeyev, Hurdle, Olofsson line. Which,
So.
if you're looking at it, is still a pretty crappy second line, no? Dorofeyev, Olofsson, and Hurdle.
The underachieving Domash.
Yeah, Andy's saying Carlson jumps up to PP1 if Stone's out. That's the move. That's where he was. Sorry.
There we go. Like that.
I think that Riley Smith line's better than the Hurdle Olofsson, but whatever. Olofsson Hurdle correlating in that game.
Bing.
I don't know. We're coming down to a big week. Like critical games, obviously on both sides. 3-1 is somewhere Edmonton doesn't want to be, especially going on the road. We'll see how that goes. But in terms of Washington and that price on the money line in a low scoring game, got appetize. You got to look at that number. You got to look at the Caps here. It was a 4-0 game. Expected metrics said it wasn't as big as a blowout as it was. And Logan Thompson, I still think, is a better goalie in that series. And speaking of goalies, I don't know if we'll see a good goalie performance tonight in Edmonton Game 4.
We won't.
We won't.
No, well, you know what? If I'm sitting there running the Oilers organization, I think they have 2 new goaltenders in camp next year. I mean, Calvin Pickard to back up somebody, sure, I guess, but how do you not bring in, like, it's been year after year of this crap. Like, first it was fix the defense, fix this, fix that. You kind of fix the defense a little bit. Let's not forget that Matthias Ekholm is a big loss to the Edmonton Oilers and would probably solve some of these problems. But when Stewie Skin still lets in goals like he's been doing, and he will again tonight, there has to be something that's moved to bring in an established goaltender that takes the reins and helps the Oilers next season. But that's next season, and but you're stuck with Skin right now, and man,
go get Dan Vladar. Go get your province's backup. Because Dustin Wolf needs to play 60% of the games going forward anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The Swayman and Vladar fall has kind of been comical. I think what was Swayman, Vladar, who else am I thinking of? Ottawa. Why am I so dumb now?
Lundmark.
Yeah, and Lundmark. Like it was starting to look like that system in Boston was pretty good. Maybe it wasn't the goaltending. We'll see how things go.
Okay, but are you sold on Swayman being junk next year?
What, do you think he gets a better team in front of him? I don't think
but I think Jeremy.
I don't think when they were running him and Omar for the Vezina run, like it was different.
No,
like I don't think they're that.
That's true. But I look at that going, you know what? Out of all the garbage out there, I would have the most faith in Jeremy Swayman being okay. But you're right. The Boston Bruins are going to be some struggle.
Like maybe goalie between like 10 and 13 in the league, maybe for Swayman. There might be a case for something lower, but there's a case for it falling off a bit more. I like Swayman. I think he's a great teammate. We'll see how it goes. I hate basketball.
By the way, there isn't much for free agent goaltenders next year, and Dan Vladar is part of that list. But so
is he a free agent?
Yeah, and your buddy Ilya Samsonov is also. He's been carrying the helmet on it. He's been getting some bench work. Yeah. Of course, James Reimer, old friend James Reimer, Mr. Glove Hand. He's a free agent. Gorgiev is a free agent. You know, if you need another Stuart Skinner Russian replica, there's.
I know, right? Like, these are guys, that have just enough to sell you, Dave. Just enough to sell you, and you're like, now I'm stuck with Gorgiev.
Do you throw money at Jake Allen and try to convince him to come to Alberta? I mean, he might be the best of the group.
Absolutely. Jake Allen, you got one more year, Jake Allen. Go throw a bit at him. He was incredible this year when he was called upon. I think he finished with the best numbers for New Jersey, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. All right. Anyway, plays are in. It's Monday. Thank you for the therapy session.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my man.
Toronto's even. You got to get another win before you get to where Toronto is. But maybe we're saying maybe. Yeah. I'm not betting on Hellebuck.
I'm liking a couple things. I'm liking the regular start time. tomorrow night. Okay, back to where you're supposed to be playing, not at 4:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Sorry.
Okay.
You know, how am I supposed to watch this kind of game when I have the entire family up? That's that. I want to know this. So I split in Dallas, done it before, had a better record against the Stars during the regular season, won in Dallas. That's what you have to do now, right? So,
Yep.
New series.
Leafs get the prime time, 7 o'clock, 7:30. Love it. Not 4 o'clock, not 9:30 like the Edmonton game. I understand it. Never been on the West Coast, but I'm sure they get really pissed when a game starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, you want to talk to an angry Canucks fan on Hockey Night in Canada with the 4 o'clock local time start? You just start up a conversation like that.
Toronto might be in town. Yeah. Awesome. All right, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Those are the picks. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these picks. Download the Sports Interaction app. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. You guys are great. Hopefully no suspensions. I know you want one for Marchman, but if Marchman doesn't get one, I don't think Domi's getting one. So hopefully just a little slap on the wrists. Here's a $5,000 fine. And Peril says, keep on playing, boys. It's getting chippy out there. Josh Ingles, Dave Bastel, NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction on covers. Hit that like button. Do all that other stuff. Those views up. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Yep.